Take me back to the day when things were simple. Riding bikes to the sunset, feeling that warm tingle. No screens to distract us, just the sound of laughter. Making forts in the backyard, chasing after what came after. Oh, the good old days when we play outside. No Wi-Fi, no worries, just a wild ride. Trading baseball cards, listen to the radio. Life was an adventure, don't you know?
All right. Welcome to Offline Daze, a podcast about the 80s and 90s when life was better. That's how we feel, at least. I am your co-host, Coley.
And I'm Ryan.
And we have Bear Love with us, a fellow comedian and a rock star. It's awesome to have. Thank you for joining us.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
So we figured we'd just kind of dive right into it, and let's just talk about it. Like, what do you remember about the 80s and the 90s?
Well,
how old were you in those 80s and 90s?
The catchphrase was the best, and I still will use it. It is the 90s. Do you remember that?
It is
yeah.
Yes.
You're like, are you sure we can do this? Yeah, it's the 90s. You know, it used to mean. It used to mean like, yeah, sky's the limit. It's the 90s. You know, so I still live in that moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is kind of fun to live in that moment. Unfortunately, we do have to live in in 2026. Not unfortunately. I mean, maybe unfortunately. I guess it depends.
I say unfortunately. It's very unfortunate, but go ahead.
But we have the thing that we got to make sure that we promote is our social media on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, just so that you can follow us. We have a contest going on right now for Blockbuster return fee. You can win a $50 gift card to it's a Visa $50 gift card so that you can repay your Blockbuster late fees. Bear, where can people find you?
Bear Love Comedy on all the apps. No spaces usually.
Excellent.
Yep. Yeah, I had to add the comedy on there because otherwise it takes you to bears hunting salmon. The bears love salmon, or it takes you to a gay porn site. Bear Love.
Those big old bears, those fluffy bears.
It doesn't take you to comedy. Yeah. You're either seeing big hairy bears or big hairy bears.
Oh man. Bear, what was something that you did on Friday nights? What was a typical Friday night for you?
Back in the day?
In the day? Yeah. Friday nights, usually it was the, come home when the street lights turn on. That was but on Fridays you could get away with, saying you're going over to Brendan's house and Brendan saying you're going over to my house. And so usually you would pull the double switcheroo on the parents' house. And it's like, oh, you guys are all going over to Brendan's? Okay. Yeah. And then you're actually over in Dan's basement drinking Killian's with random people.
And Dan had the cool parents probably that strategically
divorced,
it was like
so he had
it was
one
like
parent that was here and one parent that was working a lot. So we were at the dad's house and his basement we just decided to tie everything to the ceiling. So his bed was hanging from 4 ropes. The couch was hanging from 4 ropes. Yeah. So, it was just so we get the most of the ground space, So many activities we could do in here, like Step Brothers.
Yeah. Oh God. And the safety measures. Zero safety. No. OSHA would vomit right now if they look back at the safety measures.
Yep, I lost my virginity in Dan's basement. Watching
on a swinging bed?
On a swinging bed with Aaron Argue.
Give you a little extra momentum if you get a little too excited.
Oh yeah, we were watching Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. My favorite movie.
Oh man, what a great movie that was. What was I'm trying to think of the talking about huffing ether. I think
Oh, yeah.
a pint of
So-
raw ether.
We were at Burning Man, and I've never had an ether experience. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, we camped with a bunch of people, like 50, 60 people. And this guy came up to our camp just moonshine drunk, and he comes up to like this girl on the edge of our camp, and he's like, can you taste my water? And we're like, we all are like, what's going on? Nobody's tasting your water, dude. Like, what's your deal? And he just goes, because I think there's vodka in it. And he's just like freaking out. And the next day he came over. Like, we're just like, dude, whatever. Like, no. And the next day he came over. He's like, I've never done Easter before, and I camped next to you guys, and these people gave me this little thing to smell, and he said it was Easter. They told him what it was, and he goes, but I walked away from my camp and just forgot that I did it. And I had this water bottle with me, and so I'm drinking this water bottle as I'm walking 10 steps to your camp, and I just see you guys, and I'm just like, what the fuck's happening to me? and so he totally was out of it, like just like the drunk guy, can you taste my water? Like, bro, nobody's tasting your water, dude.
Yeah, it's like, hey, it's like creepy guy with the van down by the river. Hey, do you want a popsicle down here? Hey, kids, you want a popsicle?
Do you see what's wrong with my van?
Oh, so what's the most dangerous thing you did as a kid that would get your parents arrested today?
I guess my cousin, she tried to be the same way that our parents were with us, with her. And she said, my house, my rules, you're out. And, just kick the kid out. And like just for the day, you know what I mean? Like he's walking around the streets and the cops were like, where do you live? Go home. And he was like, I live out here now. And she totally had to fight for custody back just on that threat of you're on the streets then. For a 17-year-old who's being an asshole, you know what I mean? Like that used to be our parents' thing. Is you're out then. My house, my rules. And like for a good 12 hours, you thought you were homeless. Until the street lights come on and you just creep in the back door and mom doesn't even say anything. You're like, I'm not exiled? Like, what? Yeah, they used to lock the door when I guess like they would lock the door. And we had this one neighbor who was like a snitch, always like telling on me. And my mom literally had a conversation with her one day. When he's outside, he's out. I don't want to know.
Give a fuck what he's doing. Don't tell me about this shit.
We don't want to know. I was creative. We were the snowball kids throwing snowballs at cars. Like we didn't know what to do. We were suburban kids. You know what I mean? Like suburban kids with nothing to do are more reckless than.
They're so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, terrible.
We were shoplifters and we didn't even need anything. We'd shoplift, put a CD in, be like, fuck that song and throw it out the window. You know what I mean? Like,
but back before the cameras, I used to just go in there and just like steal like 10 packs of cigarettes at a time,
And everything was corporations. There was no private. It was just the 90s. So it's just like, nobody even cared. You know what I mean? It was just like peak bulk, like waste of American capitalism. It was just like, so it's just like, there's extra, those kids just ran out the back with it. Fuck it,
My favorite, we had a food line, a grocery store, and my friends and I would sneak out at night around like midnight. We go to the fucking grocery store. No one would be there but the people buffering the fucking floors. And we would roll up in that motherfucker and steal like 4 cases of beer and just be like, peace.
That was called the gas and go. Yeah. Or the grab and go. That was it. The grab and go. We also used to do gas and goes because gas was not prepay. And so we did a whole Frisbee golf tour when we were 16 by just putting CD, like we stole the CDs and we put the cover of the CD over our license plate. And then we'd go in because we're from South Lansing, so we'd go into like the Hood gas station, and if you act like you're filling it up, then they know you're gonna run. So we'd be like $15 on the dot, and then be like, and, you know, and dude, it turned into so bad that so many people did it at this Hood gas station that one time we did it there was an undercover cop in a 2000 Intrepid, which was, it was like 1999, so 2000 Intrepids were like just rolling off the lot. And so in my Ford Ranger, they used to call me J Dip before I got the nickname Bear, because I used to dip on cops because it was cat and mouse. As soon as they'd see you, they'd pull us over. So we just dipped. And so as soon as this cop, he like didn't, like, we got down the street and I was going to pull off the license plate thing, and he was right behind me and he goes, "I'm an undercover police officer. Just pull over your car." And I jumped back in the car and took off, and we're going through the suburbs. I'm like merging traffic, like doing this thing. I had 2 flat tires in that Ford Ranger, 1989 Ford Ranger. By the end of that police chase, and the last turn that I turned into a cul-de-sac. And I'm like, oh no. But it was the one turn where he went right and I went left. My buddy, who's like crazy, he was so pissed. He's like, "Get me the fuck out of this car." I'm like, "Bro, we're good. And he left, he went, and I had to walk to the gas station and get 2 cans of Fix-A-Flat and get my tires back up.
Damn. So you were just expressing your NASCAR driving Formula 500 prowess right there. It sounds like. So, hey, do you remember? And speaking of your Grateful Dead shirt, I want to bring something into front and center that we probably all experienced in high school. And Bear, you can tell us how this affected you. Remember the good old dare to keep a kid off drugs?
Oh yeah, my sister got to read at the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember how you had to write a paragraph and you get to read yours at the graduation? My sister was one of the couple.
I don't want to do drugs because they're bad, and I will end up getting pregnant and just be a total drain to society.
Yep. And so I was the one who started smoking weed before me and my sister. And me and my cousin Tyler, we had said get her to smoke because she was a snitch.
You know what they say, snitches get stitches, right? Come on.
So Cole, she started smoking because we didn't want to get told on.
But it was just funny. Like the whole dare thing seemed to like have the opposite effect. You know, like 20% of the nerds were just like, yeah, this sounds good, and then the other 80% were like, fuck this, we're gonna go do fucking heroin now because of this bullshit.
And dude, the people like I remember that era. There was like people who, like my parents, like they were just like, we thought we were getting away with murder, but they were like, as long as it's happening at our house type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the people whose parents were really strict and they're like, my kid got caught with a roach of weed, I'm going to send them to rehab. Then they go to rehab with these people who actually are on weird pills and weird heroin. And then so like the one like innocent kid, all of a sudden he's like huffing fucking hand sanitizer, like because of these things he learned at freaking rehab. You know what I mean? So sending your kid to rehab is one of the dumbest things you can do if you just find a little bit of pot, because then they're going to know all those other people in that program, and those kids talk.
So you think a roach is bad? How do you feel about a crack rock?
Yeah, and now they know where to get it and how to buy it. And yeah.
You want to hear my dare story for our graduation?
I dare you.
Yeah, dare me.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody else, it was the dare graduation had just gone. Everybody had graduated, and you know, everybody had said how they're not going to do drugs, and then everybody went into the cafeteria and got cake. Well, 3 of my buddies and we went back into the gym, and we started huffing the helium in all the balloons.
Oh, love it.
So
That's great.
Real quick.
Just like, yep, I graduated. Now I'm going to do this. This is the closest drug I can find.
Mm-hmm. Inhalants. Yep. Absolutely. Man, Duster. So I thought it was like nitrous. You know what I mean? Like those little whippets. Oh my God. One time, and this counts because it was technically 1999. One time somebody gave me, we filled up a whole punch balloon of that whippet of the duster stuff, that stuff is different than just a whippet because I went
Oh,
to
yeah.
another realm. I went to like a fire realm where everything was fire and I could create. And then like I could like create, but I forgot that I could create. But I could remember that I forgot something, and it felt like eternity of forgetting. Like I just got stuck
Jeez.
in this loop of like forgetting, and it felt like eternity. I was stuck forgetting this thing. You know what I mean? And it was crazy because we did it right at the store. It was like a Myers, which is similar to Walmart in Michigan. And we leave the store at like midnight, and we did it right there in the parking lot, and next to this big Lay's potato chip uh, truck. And so I hit it, and the girl who did it with me is like 95 pounds, and it was her idea, like, we're gonna do whippets, and she did it, and I'm still fucking like feeling it, like literally like puking on my shirt, and she's like, let's get home, and she starts driving, and Michigan is like
Oh my
gauntlet
God.
of cops, you know what I mean? So I'm like, what are you doing driving? Like, what the hell are you doing? You know, and I'm trying to come to, you know, and so I could like be there. And sure enough, like we get 2 blocks and we're like right in front of the Kroger, and there's a cop across the street, like at like, you know, like we're on at the same light, but it's like, you know, 25 yards away. And I can't help it, but I had to open my door and puke out the door. You know what I mean? And so I'm puking in front of the cop. And he's saying stuff like, "Oh, I have to go cash my check," like just not reacting to the situation, you know. And I'm like hearing about her cashing her check, and then I like we both get the green light so we can turn, and I know we're about to get pulled over. This cop just saw me at midnight puke outside, you know, in this car, and we pull over at this like Burger King, and I'm still puking, kind of spitting on my shirt, and she's just laughing at me, and I look up because it's like longer than the cop should have been there by now. The cop didn't pull up. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And I look around and I just go, where the fuck am I? And she starts cracking up and she points at the Lay's potato chip truck.
You're like, what?
She's like, we haven't moved. Like, what are you talking about? I'm driving.
Oh my God. For some reason, that reminds me of the movie Super Troopers. You know, when the guy,
I thought that was like a public service announcement about cops in Michigan.
yeah, I mean, remember when
I
he
didn't
eats the
laugh.
big bag of or he thinks they're evading the cop passes him, and then he reverses it.
Yeah.
And then he fucking has to eat the whole bag of like mushrooms. He's like,
Dude,
man, I'm
Candy
freaking out
bar.
here.
I thought that was a public service announcement about Michigan police because that's how they treated us. One time, because they knew who we were after so many times of running from them, you know, and
Right.
basically, one time, my buddy, he was a big dick to them, Jason. He called himself Sam Schneed. Like one time, somebody's mom came in. We were in the basement, and she was like, "Who are you?" And he goes, "I'm Sam Schneed." And so he stuck. But Sam Schneed, one time, he's talking shit to the cops. We get pulled over in his 1979 Pontiac Catalina. You know, we're from Lansing, Detroit. You know, Flint. You know, so 1979 Pontiac Catalina with the Dayton 100-spoke white wall tires on it, with just in the hoopty ride. You know what I mean? Just pimping it. And we get pulled over going the wrong way on a one-way drunk. You know what I mean? We just
That's
bought
always a
weed in
tough one.
Lansing, so he slams his elbow into me. We're running. I just wake up and I get slammed against the car. I don't make it far. You know what I mean? And I just see him as I'm like getting took to the ground. I just see him take off like, and then like
He's like,
we
fuck
call him
him.
Stretch too because he's like real fast and skinny. And so Sam Schneed's running, and Super Cop gets behind him and
Oh Lord.
dives after him and just tackles my boy in the street and just drags him to the street. And so finally, after that big scene, we get in the cop car. So it would put us in separate cop cars, and we're driving down 127. We got to get all the way south to where the county jail is. And so they got to go 15, 20-minute ride with us, and they got to turn around on the highway. And the one cop who's got my buddy in it, you see him just dip through the median at like 100 miles an hour, going through with my buddy in the back.
Oh wow.
So they're doing this on purpose to beat the hell out of him. And I'm in the other car, and I just hear my guy goes, "That's too crazy for me. I'll catch you on the next exit." And I'm so happy he did that. And basically,
Oh
so we
God.
catch up to the jail, and so they've beaten us up in the car, just kind of fucking with us. They know we're drunk and 20, and so we get to the jail, and I realized that they beat up my buddy, and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, getting a little sick. He's like, "Are you okay?" And I just hit the wall, and it made me have to puke. And I'm right there at the booking station, like where the cops got the computers and stuff. And I just stepped forward, and you should hear the cops explain this. When my buddy went to court for his DUI, they were still talking about it 3 months later. They were like, "The one guy, I asked him if he was okay. He stepped forward and he just started spraying." And so I puked
Just
on 2 cops.
exorcist projectile puke, right?
I puked on the 2 cops that arrested us and the whole computer that was booking us in. What just
Well, it
clear
shows them for arresting you. Good Lord.
Yeah. So, that was a good night.
That's great. That's great. I mean, so what would you say the biggest lie society told our generations about adulthood,
Well,
guys?
we're so close to flying cars. We're so close. That's all we want. We literally, you could bomb Iran, do what you want, give us some fuck. No, I'm joking. It's topical today.
Coley, what do you think?
Well, I mean, Hollywood told us that we were supposed to have flying cars by 2015, so like I'm totally on board with that. But I think the biggest lie that everybody told us was if you go to college, you can do whatever you want. Great. And now, I have, college debt and just like, oh, excellent. So now my goal is to pay off those things. So now I got to get that 9-to-5 job. Like it was such a lie of people like just getting like, I feel like a 9-to-5 job was like a very 1950s kind of mentality. And it's just, it's crazy how when people, like stay in the same position over and over and over again, year to year, 30 years, 40 years, they're in the same position. And you're just like, oh man, that's rough.
Yeah. Our ADD generation can't put up with that.
No. But hey, speaking of ADD generation, I mean, thank God for Adderall, right?
Right.
And
they tried giving me Ritalin at 6th grade.
Did they? I can see it worked out pretty well.
Yeah. Dude, it was the first drug I ever sold. So it was perfect. It gave me a business.
Yeah. Very entrepreneurial, right? At a young age. Remember we had other like the Xanny bars. Remember those?
Yeah, I never was into it because everybody used to say it was landing gear for acid. And I was like, anything that's the opposite of acid, I don't want in my body. That's literally what I used to tell people. But for me, pharmaceuticals were tough to ever get me to do pharmaceuticals because they tried to give them to me as a kid. You know what I mean? So, I literally, and it was so funny because I would go down to get my pill at lunch, and the other kid who, was definitely from the harder side of our town, he was like, "My mom will buy those pills from you." And I was like, "For a slice of pizza? Oh, sure." And so I got pizza at lunch thanks to Ritalin.
Yeah, I feel like in my high school, it was really, we didn't have we were more rural, so we didn't have like a lot of the hard drugs. I know that's probably different from like Michigan, but it was more like weed, beer, maybe some like ecstasy, some stuff like that. But I don't really think I came across any of the hard stuff until college. So I don't know if that was different in Michigan.
Had mushrooms. Mushrooms were really rare. We almost pay like $250 an ounce for mushrooms. Like $30 an eighth. And one time, I'll tell you how rare it was. We all ate our mushrooms, and one of our buddies puked up his.
Oh.
In the carpet. And he got a fork and ate it.
Ate the puke.
because he knew
because
we
it was
were
so
not
expensive.
going to get mushrooms again.
Oh my God.
And so this motherfucker.
Oh.
so we couldn't get him always either. Oh man, Sean! I wonder if Sean's even alive.
It doesn't sound like he is. But why are you, Bear? Why are you glad we don't have? Back then we didn't have cameras everywhere like we do now.
I know, it's crazy. You can't get away with anything now.
Not even murder.
Yeah, right. Well, if you got enough money, probably can. But
Ugh.
yeah, it's cameras everywhere. Definitely, I like to get out. I like to bend rules. I like to get sneak people into the festival. And so, like, my first experience with that was when we were going to some the remaining members for the Grateful Dead were playing in New York, and we were still kind of hustling weed back then. And my one buddy was just like, "Everything's on camera in New York. Just know that."
You're like, what?
And so that was definitely. But like, if the government's going to be looking in on our lives like that, I don't mind because weed's legal now. But I feel like they should be giving us some stats. Like Spotify Wrapped. Like, am I actually the worst driver in Denver? Or is that just what my ex-girlfriend says? They have this information. I feel like I'm in the top 1% of texting I'm on the way while still laying in bed. Like, give us some numbers. That's all I ask.
Well, they do that at the FBI Christmas party. That's their whole thing. They all talk about every FBI agent who's, the FBI agent that is monitoring you, and the one that's monitoring Ryan, and the one that's monitoring me. They all get together and they talk about their Spotify and be like, yeah, Bear says he was on his way 75% of the time, but he was really at his house.
Yes. See, they have this information. They just need to tell us.
Yeah. I thought it'd be a good idea. Like, how people, like, I want to get audio of people in their cars, like, as they're like driving around, like
singing?
Road raging.
Oh, so
singing like hurry the fuck up, grandma, or whatever they're saying.
So the apps definitely know when we're bad drivers, because I'm a bad driver, aggressive driver. And so the apps know, because I think it was DoorDash would tell you if you brake too hard. And so there's body sensors. And like, one time I had like Pandora be like, "Are you a horrible driver?" Like, and I'm like, I knew it could, like, because I was driving DoorDash, so I'm like hitting the brakes, hitting the gas, and it was like calling me out. It's like, and so I know they have this information.
Do you need police assistance, sir?
What was I thinking?
Do you remember when OnStar, that was a late 90s thing, when OnStar became like a thing, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, they're listening to our conversations." And you're like, I mean, the government has been listening to the conversations since Watergate. So
yeah. See, I think that as long as they're giving us some stats, that it could be fun. Like,
what do you
I want to know? I want to know who eats the most carne asada burritos in Denver. I'm up there. I am up there. Like,
or who is picking their nose the longest?
Like, who's finger in? Who's in there digging?
Yeah. Looks like Monica has the 2-minute record for Aurora.
Dude,
woo!
There was a neighbor of mine that I grew up with. He would bite his toenails. Oh my God. Yes. And he should be on a
flexible
list. If you bite your toenails, you're on a list.
Yeah. You definitely do not need TSA privileges if you bite your toenails.
If you're biting toenails, that's you're locked up like Con Air.
Yeah.
Man. But another thing for the 90s, remember rollerblades came out and everybody used to do street hockey where I was from. And do you remember Mighty Ducks?
Fuck yeah.
I do.
So you remember the one guy that the hockey coach like took from the streets and put on the ice? That was literally me. Like, I was a street hockey player from Holt. And we just played every day. Like, literally, I thought it was the evolution of man, because as soon as I got home from school, rollerblades went on and I'm 4 inches taller. So we would go out there, and so from sun down to from school out, we would just be at the church parking lot with our little goalie nets. One person would play goalie, and we'd have to take back, and there were two teams, and you're just playing, scoring goals, scoring goals. And usually the, least athletic kid was in the goalie. And so you're in goalie today, bro. So unfortunately, the 90s were rough. But we would play roller hockey, and but I'd never been on ice before. You know what I mean? I've skated like the once a year when you go to the skate rink with the class. And
Right.
so we had the idea to join junior year of our, and we both got cut. We both got cut from our hockey team. But
Mm.
just because I wasn't a good enough skater. But senior year, I got put on the hockey team, and I got to actually start too. I was starting center, and
Dang.
I still have a school record for most assists in a game because I was passing it to two people who should have went and played in Division One. So, so I've got Jake Cole and Chad Pipkins, on my side. So, but the reason the coach put me in as center is because I wasn't trained as a club player like all these other kids were, and he said,
Right.
"You will actually run my play." And so,
Genius.
but
That's
I
genius.
could not skate. And so, literally, but I'm fast. I just couldn't stop. You know what I mean? And
You're like
so,
Luis on the Mighty Ducks.
literally. And I swear to God, when we were taking pictures for the team, so I go up to you have to hockey stop. And I totally took the person out with the camera, boom, boom, so. But that was me. I was the hardcore street kid that they put in, and the coach. All he wanted me to do was because everybody else, every other center wanted to take it in, and they would try and get that goal, and then we'd start over from having no advantage. You know what I mean? So what he wanted us to do, as soon as I crossed the blue line, he wanted me to dump it down there, and then we'd go fight it out in the boards and then have somebody right in the front. So he just wanted me to dump it. That was literally my job. That was why I started. He was like, get in there and dump it. These other kids are going to try and score, and then we're not going to have any advantage. And so he just had me running his plays because he knew I didn't know enough about hockey that I'd do something I wanted.
Damn. So you're still, I love it how you're still reliving those days. It kind of reminds me of Napoleon Dynamite and Uncle Rico, how he threw the football over the mountain. Just.
I
That was
haven't
such
seen that movie.
You've never seen Napoleon Dynamite?
Dude. So when I moved to California in 2003, it was like Xbox was big back then, and I literally was like, I'm moving to San Diego. I can't be playing Halo for 12 hours a day. I was like, it's beautiful. I was like, it's so beautiful here, and there's always live music. I was like, so there's live music at night, and there's something beautiful to do. So I got rid of my Xbox and my TV in 2003, and I didn't get
Smart.
one until 2012. So there's like any movie from
Wow.
23 to 2012.
Speaking of music, how would you describe music to someone in your era versus like a kid who's like 15 now? Like, how would you describe the music
So
you came up?
with the jam bands, so for jam bands and like that type of music, it's really cool because there's like thousands of jam bands now, and so everybody's got their genre that they like. You know what I mean? They're like,
Right.
oh, I like this one. I don't like that one. I do like this one. There were so few jam bands in the early 90s, like Fish, Grateful Dead, Dave Matthews,
Widespread.
The Big Woo, Widespread, Particle, Disco Biscuits, that when one of them came out, you just liked them. You know what I mean? It wasn't like if you liked one more than the other, like, you know what I mean? But like it was like, okay, Dave Matthews went with Grateful Dead. Now he's one of them. You know, like it was just all of them who played with at those festivals, and then you'd just be like, "That's a jam band," and I love them. And so there was only like 10 jam bands in the beginning. There wasn't this whole "we're this family, we're that family." It was just like we're family. It was like one hippie family, which is cool. They each have their own. Even DJs have their own BPM that makes you dance, and I love the different sections. But I feel like the counterculture was a little more connected because it was just like, hey, you're different. You're different. Yes.
And plus think about the 90s too, like the birth of like grunge and like Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, all that kind of stuff,
Offspring.
Sublime, Offspring. I mean, now I feel like you just don't have the organic kind of nature of bands forming like they used to, which kind of makes them more like packaged products.
Yeah, totally. People got the formula down. The record companies know the formula. They know what we like.
Yeah, I mean, you think about that they did all what everybody's doing today, but they did it without the internet and they did it without social media. Like if you wanted to hear a band, like someone had to be like, "Hey, I just heard this band from this other guy, and they gave me this tape. Do you want to hear it?" And then you would listen to it and they'd be like, "Oh my god, this is amazing."
Yep.
And it's just like passing the tape from, it's like,
Well, it goes back to what
sell
we
the
were
tape.
talking about. Yeah, and it goes back to what we were talking about, just the too many options thing. When you have too many options, it's like overload. So, back then everything seemed a lot better because there was like you were just discovering 1 and 2 at a time versus like 200 at a time.
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember
Well, and you joke
Sorry.
Well, when you joke about like the people and only having 10 songs on a tape or a CD, and you're like, oh yeah, when you would hit shuffle and you'd be like, which of the 110 songs is coming up? And you'd be like, I don't know. But it's way better when you think about it because you're like, oh, I only have 10 songs that I'm going to listen to. This is so much better than a billion songs that are out there.
You remember
Like the rate
Reebok
Go
pumps?
ahead. Oh fuck
Yeah.
yeah! I remember
People,
even
whenever they
better
were shooting free throws, they would always pump them.
yeah, and or the LA gear that would light up.
Yes.
I remember I remember I saw like a story like on the news. It was like criminal got caught by cops because he was wearing LA gear shoes that were lighting up and they could follow him.
Those were the shit.
The light up shoes. They
Yeah.
still have those, which is hilarious. But
I'm gonna get some after this.
Right? Everybody, being an adult, nobody ever compliments your shoes.
Right?
Only kids get compliments of their shoes.
Definitely.
Oh my god, those shoes are amazing.
All right, Barry. I'm gonna ask you a question here. So, say tomorrow you're transported back to 1995 for a day, right? But you have to come back directly to this time the next day. What is your day going to look like in 1995 for you?
I'm going to have a long talk with a 13-year-old about Bitcoin.
This isn't going to make sense. This doesn't even exist right now. But I'm going to need you to get something in the year 1999 and download it.
When those kids start buying drugs from the internet and not you, go with it.
Oh man, did you have a pager, Bear?
I did. I had a beeper, and it was before I sold weed, which is random. My mom got me the pager, and she would just do 911 when she wanted us to come home.
Okay.
You know,
I like
and
that.
so I knew it was a tracking device from the beginning. So I hated cell phones. I wouldn't get a cell phone. I had to be literally the mortgage company I was working for in San Diego was promoting me to manager, and they were like, "You have to have a cell phone. We're buying you a cell phone."
Like,
so
no.
at 20, and I still owe Sprint $200 because when I quit that job, they made me pay my last bill, and I never paid Sprint. So, and I knew they were setting me up, and ever since then, I've been prepay on my phone, literally. And so,
Do you remember your favorite cartoons as a kid?
oh, dude, I remember when they took Mighty Mouse off the air, and then they moved it to like 5:30 in the morning. So we had to wake up at 5:30 in the morning to see our favorite one.
Mighty Mouse was a good one. Did you guys ever watch Scooby Doo?
Oh, Scooby Doo was good. But we were really into Thundercats,
Thundercats,
like DuckTales after school.
DuckTales was great.
Doug.
Oh, Doug. And then Nickelodeon they didn't renew it, and then Disney bought it, and it became shitty.
Huh? I didn't know that Disney bought that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Disney
and then
fucks it all
Doug,
up.
Darkwing Duck.
What about TGIF?
That was like
what
all
show? There were some shows on that, like Family Matters.
I
Family
remember all
Matters,
this. Yeah.
Full House,
Well, after
Full
Puff
House.
Daddy, I
Perfect,
can't
Perfect
think of
Strangers.
after P Diddy. I can't think of Family Matters the same ever again.
Oh, what was hold up? What refresh us on what was the story with that?
So Family Matters was Urkel, right? Did
Mhm.
I do
Yeah, it
that?
was Urkel.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so the dad from Urkel was in the P Diddy files as one of the
Huh.
people that Puff Daddy butt fucked.
Oh,
So hold up, it was Steve Urkel
The
or
dad.
Carl Winslow?
The dad.
Carl
oh, wow.
Winslow? Get the fuck out of here!
And nobody
I'm not gonna.
denied that. Like that's like a whole thing.
I'm not gonna be able to get that out of my head for the next probably 3 to 4 years.
Like what the fuck, Puff?
Every time you see him on Die Hard.
God, I used to Carl. And what
At
about the
least
fresh?
At least he left
Fre-
Urkel alone. I hope he left Urkel alone.
And then you had the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. This is a story all about how life got flipped, turned
God,
upside
that was
down.
the best show ever. And we can't talk about the 80s and 90s without bringing up Michael fucking Jackson. Like
You're right.
stadiums, he was my favorite. Like any football game, any fucking, like I think I even had the glove. You know what I mean? I think I even had one of the gloves.
Michael Jackson. What about the story about how he came in and did the some of the bits for Beat It? I don't know if you know that, but he did the guitar the guitar solo in Beat It.
That's Michael Jackson?
No, it Beat It.
Oh.
I'm sorry, no, it's Eddie Van Halen.
Oh.
Did the guitar solo in Beat It.
That's
and
cool.
Because Quincy Jones was the producer, and they were like trying to like get a different feel in there, but I'm sure that's a famous fucking solo, there.
Dude, I can
Yeah.
hear it now. You can totally hear his guitar in there now. Like, yeah, that's legendary.
Yeah. So it's
Michael
I
Jackson
don't know.
is huge. Just his stadiums, you know what I mean? And just like, heal the world, make it a better place. I feel
Right.
like we did better at like, and I was talking about this the other day, and I don't want to get all like political or anything like that, but it like I felt like we were taught, and I'm from the North, so maybe my books were different, but like we were taught that like Martin Luther King won. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we had like heal the world, make it a better place. Like we were taught that the struggle was over, not this huge division of like everybody, it's so bad. Like we just lied to the kids, said MLK won, and then put them in class together.
I love it. Right. And now we're
we're telling the kids that it's bad and we're bad again. But in the 90s, we were told, hey, Michael Jackson's gonna heal the world, make it a better place. Like it was a bigger,
in a couple songs.
I think that there was more intention on actual healing. You know what I mean? Rather than just this
because
political,
these political. We
didn't
have the internet. We didn't have the internet, so there was like no echo chambers where people would just argue about things all day. So I think that's kind of a big thing. I was a big fan of Prince too. Like a lot of Prince's stuff was super dope. I mean, that dude could just fucking rip on guitar for sure.
Dude, Prince was one of the best guitar players.
I mean, the fact that he made it rain on the Super Bowl halftime show is fucking amazing.
Yeah, if you ever want to
Purple Rain.
If you ever want to see his solo, I think it was like a George Harrison tribute where he's
that one's good.
He I forget which song it was, but he just rips the nastiest solo. You just YouTube Prince solo George Harrison. Forget which song it was, but yeah, I mean,
so
some legendary.
John Mayer is doing Jerry's part in the Grateful Dead. With Dead and Company. John Mayer on his most recent album, his solo album, he has a song that's very Prince-like. And when he was recording it in New York, he was in the same studio. I think Michael Jackson recorded a lot of his stuff. But they randomly, while he was recording that guitar part that is very Prince-like, somebody actually brought Prince's purple guitar in, and he was able to. So John Mayer actually recorded his guitar, I think it was on New Light. New Light.
Cool.
I can't remember what song it was, but the really Princey one on his new album.
People like to hate on Mayer, but that dude is a genius guitar player. I mean, just because just because Body is a Wonderland, blah blah
Yeah,
blah. You
for
know,
sure.
we all know if we were dating whoever that was, we would have made the same song.
Yep.
Was it Jennifer Love Hewitt or whoever, the hot chick with like just the massive boobs, like
Yeah.
back in the
Now
day?
it was over.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, but
but
he's a great guitar player, and he really put the passion into learning the catalog of the Grateful Dead. So a lot of the Deadheads are really into him now.
That's
But in the
awesome.
he's
beginning,
got some
yes.
good. He's got some good folky shit too. Like he does poppy stuff too, but like
Yeah.
he's got some good like folk
Oh yeah.
type jams.
You know, BB King loves him. Like when BB King played with him, like they were jamming together. But
Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
Yep. And
But
I
hey,
think Eric Clapton, because John Mayer covered one of Clapton's songs, and
Mhm.
what Clapton said about it, he was like, "That kid's a phenom. Like, I wish I could play my song that way." Like Clapton said that about one of his own songs.
yeah, that's wild. I remember that's what back when Clapton was just coming out. I remember hearing a story about when he saw Jimi Hendrix for the first time. He was like, "Fuck."
Yeah. There's people that just inspire you, and there's people that make you want to quit.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
I told
Oh
that to
man,
my buddy Eli in Austin. I was like, "There's comics that inspire you, and then there's comics that just make me want to quit, dude."
it's the ebb and flow. But yeah, we're probably going to cut it short here. But you know, we appreciate your time,
Yeah, it was
Bear,
fun, man.
and you know, it's and again with Offline Days, our whole idea is just going down memory lane, and the whole idea of the podcast was just that so much has changed in the past 25 years that I don't think enough credence is given to how much the world has changed, and
Totally.
people are
And where can
interested.
people find the podcast? They can just download it on Napster.
Yep, download it on Napster and LimeWire, and give your computer a virus. And
Yeah. But yeah, Offline Days, DAZE, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, all the normal stuff. But yeah, well, again, this is a great episode. Thanks for your time. And did you want
Anytime.
to plug where they can find you again, Bear?
Yeah, Bear Love Comedy on all the apps. But you guys should share it in the Stand Up Comedy USA and the Comedy Cartel group. We post about your podcast in there once a week or even every day if you want. You know, we encourage people to market people in there. That's our little marketing group that we have on Facebook with, I think it's like up to 11,000 comics.
it's a
Dang,
good
dude.
little group, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we will. All right, guys. Well, y'all have a good rest of the day, and continue to rock on as if it were the 90s.
Thanks for having me.